I'm going to talk about why you suck as a boyfriend, why you suck as a husband, right? And this video is not to blame you. It's not to demonize you as a man. It's not to talk bad about you as a man. It's not to bring you down in any way. This video is just to create some awareness to help you to be a better boyfriend or husband, right? So I'm just going to now list off some of the reasons why you may suck as a husband, as a boyfriend, right? So the first one is you have unhealed trauma from childhood and past relationships. You bring baggage from past romantic relationships into your new relationship, and you sabotage yourself and the relationship. You suppress your emotions and you avoid hard conversations. You don't take care of your health, physically, mentally, spiritually. You gossip a lot and you talk trash with your friends constantly, and you don't take care of your business, of your career, of your finances. You are competing with women in terms of looks, and you are very vain and conceited, and your ego is very big. You probably do not have a job, you do not work, and you are not trying to get a job. You use women for money. You use your girlfriend for money. You depend on your wife financially. You do not provide protection for your family. You neglect your wife. You neglect your children. Another reason why you suck as a boyfriend, you suck as a husband, is because you have multiple kids with many women and you don't take care of them, or you pick the ones that you want to take care of. Another reason why you don't know how to have sex properly. You don't know your woman's body. You don't know what she likes in bed, and you are focused only on your pleasure. Another reason why you suck is because you don't know how to plan dates, and you end up taking your girlfriend or your wife to places that are bad, that are trashy places where it's loud and you probably cannot hear each other. Another reason, you expect that your girlfriend or your wife to always be paying 50-50 on everything in the relationship. You are selfish. You only think about yourself, your needs, and what you want in a relationship. Another reason why you suck is because you are ungrateful and you are unappreciative of your wife. You talk down to your wife and you disrespect her constantly. Other reasons why you suck as a boyfriend, as a husband, is because you lie and you cheat on your girlfriend, on your wife. Probably another reason why you married the wrong woman, because she tricked you, manipulated you, bribed you, forced you, guilt-tripped you into being in a relationship, or she became pregnant and you just decide to marry her. And now you're in a bad situation and you are cheating. Another reason why you suck as a boyfriend, as a husband, is because you allow your girlfriend or your wife to shame you or to embarrass you in public by cursing you and talking down to you in public. You allow disrespectful behavior in your home, in your relationship. You tolerate cheating from your wife. You tolerate lying, and you tolerate manipulation in your home and in your relationship. You allow verbal abuse, you allow physical abuse, and you're probably abusing your wife physically and verbally, both ways. Another reason why you suck as a boyfriend, as a husband, is because you got married to someone with unhealed trauma from their childhood, and you did not investigate the personality disorders or mental illness, right? So those are some reasons why you suck as a boyfriend, you suck as a husband. And I must say again, I'm not saying these things to talk bad about you, to bring you down, to demonize you, to blame you for anything. It's to create awareness, and now I'm going to give you tips on how to be better. So, tips on what to do, how to be better, how to have a better relationship, how to be a better man in a relationship, how to be a better husband, right? So, what to do? First thing, well, not first, but you need to work on healing your childhood issues, healing trauma from childhood. You might need to go to therapy to figure out your childhood, how your childhood impacted you. And you would need help maybe to walk through the difficult emotions that you have from the past. If you have experienced bullying in school, if you have been exposed or you have been in a disaster, or if you have been physically abused, verbally abused, sexually abused, or emotionally neglected by your caregiver, by your parents, you probably have childhood baggage, childhood trauma that you need to resolve. If your parents went through a divorce, if a parent went to jail, if you saw violence against your mother, if you have mental illnesses in your family, if you are abusing drugs, alcohol, if your parents abuse drugs or alcohol, you have issues. We all have been exposed to dysfunctional families. We all have childhood baggage that we need to resolve. So one of the first things to do is to be better as a boyfriend, as a husband, is to heal your childhood issues, right? Next thing is to recover from your past romantic relationships. You sabotage yourself, you sabotage your relationship when you think that every woman that comes after your crazy, toxic exes that you had before is going to do you the same thing. And you have problems in creating a meaningful and healthy relationship because of the past and not getting over your exes, and it affects your current relationship. You probably experience toxic love or love trauma. You probably experience betrayal, cheated on, lied to, used, you've been ripped off, you've been manipulated, you have been disrespected constantly. You probably experience abuse in your romantic relationship, verbally or even physically or emotionally, right? And if you have experienced any of this, you probably were stressed, you probably got anxiety, you probably have been depressed at some point, you probably got sick, you probably experienced some chronic pain for no reason. You probably lack joy in your life. You probably have low self-esteem and lack confidence because of these unfortunate experience with past love, romantic relationships. You have love trauma that you are carrying on into current relationships. Then you avoid love overall. And then you probably are using hookups to prove and to feel worthy and to feel like you're still attractive. And obviously that would lead to more complications, and you would feel even more empty hooking up and avoiding love. So you need to take time to heal from your past romantic relationships, and you need to introspect, you need to reflect, you need to contemplate, you need to reinvent yourself to move on and to become a better man emotionally and be healthy emotionally. So you should be active, you should be doing your hobbies, you should seek out trusted friends, you should also go to therapy if you need, like you would know if you need to go to therapy, right? And continue with your life in a better way, start the new project that you wanted to be doing your hobbies. Seek, if you don't want to go to therapy, seek out somebody that you trust. Men tend to suffer in silence and not seek help, so you should know if you need to go to therapy or not. Next thing is you should be taking care of your physical health, your mental health, and your spiritual health. You should be doing your annual checkups. Some men, they don't do this, they forget about this, they think it's not important. If they're not feeling pain or if they're not seeing signs of any illness or disease, they do not go to check up. You need to seek medical attention when you are sick. You need to continue to groom yourself well, eat healthy to be active, and to continue to develop your personality and to work on your character. Right? You also need to pay attention to how much you are gossiping. Men gossip a lot. And from my personal experience, it seems like men gossip even more than women. Right? And you talk a lot of nonsense with your friends, and it is wasting time. You are talking trash with your friends, many topics that are useless, that are not helping you, and you are not working on your goals, you are not building your finances, and you are not becoming a better person overall by gossiping constantly and talking trash with your friends for an extended period of time. So yes, so you need to pay attention to gossiping, right? And when you take care of your health, you take care of your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, and you pay attention to your gossiping and how much trash you are talking with your friends, you would feel better in your relationships, you will feel better about yourself, because this would actually spill over into other relationships in your life, especially your romantic relationships, right? So next thing, you should not be comparing yourself with other women and with other men, comparing yourself with looks and if you look better. You should be more focused on building your finances and becoming financially independent. That is more important than focusing on how you look, right? I'm not saying to not groom yourself and to not look good and to not smell good and all of these things and to not be fit and to not be healthy. I'm just saying that paying a lot of attention on how you look is really unnecessary. As a man, you should be more focused on your finances and building your career and becoming financially independent, right? Next thing, you cannot be unemployed as a man. Your value comes from what you create in this world, not with how you look. You should be building and creating a better society for this world and not focusing on how you look, right? You should not be using women for money. That is very weak as a man. That puts you in a position to be manipulated by women, to be cheated on, to be disrespected, to be used, and your self-esteem and your confidence as a man would be low. It would get broken down. You will be broken down if you are depending on a woman for money. That is very weak, right? Another thing we could do is you need to protect and to provide for your family. You should not be neglecting your family financially, right? And also, you need to be the head of your house. You need to create the rules and the standards for your own home. If you know that you are not comfortable with your wife making more money than you need to be in a relationship where that is not happening. Some men, they can accept that their wife is making more money than them, and some people could go about living like that, where their wife is making more money than them and they don't have problems. But some men cannot handle that, and if you know you are one that would have problems with not earning as much as your wife or not being the primary, not being the breadwinner in your family, if you know that would affect you, you should be with someone who is not making as much as you. You need to figure out if you can handle that or not, right? You cannot Next thing, you cannot neglect your wife. Your wife could be feeling sad, could be feeling depressed, could be feeling anxious, could be feeling lonely in relationship. Your wife could be feeling, or your girlfriend could be feeling unwanted, and that could develop trust issues within her, right? She could feel hopeless in a relationship. And then she can pull away from you, she can end the relationship, she can cheat on you. If your wife or your girlfriend is crying while discussing feelings, or crying while having discussing different sensitive topics, that's a sign that she feels neglected. If she starts to feel down about her appearance, if she's wondering if she's good enough, if she's complaining that she's not spending enough time with you, if she's the one only putting all the effort in the relationship, this means that she feels neglected in the relationship. She may seek attention from other men, and she may also be begging you for attention, and that may cause her to seek out attention with other men. And obviously you do not control that, and your wife should not be cheating on you, and your wife should not be seeking out attention from other men. But in reality, this happens. So it's just to enlighten you that if your wife is feeling neglected, these things will happen. If she's just stop arguing with you and just cares less about engaging in any discussion with you, she's probably feeling neglected, and it's come to a point where it's really bad. So this can also affect your sex life. She feeling unwanted and feeling unappreciated and having problems with emotional connection with her husband could actually make your sex life have problems. Sex could fall on the wayside, right? With poor communication and with poor intimacy, sexual satisfaction can just decrease. So you should make time for your wife, and you should show that she is important. I know sometimes women, they withhold sex when there is problems in the relationship to get back at you, to take revenge and all this stuff. But sometimes there's a poor intimacy, there's lack of emotional connection, and that could automatically make her just don't want to have sex with you. And it's not that she's withholding, there's just problems with intimacy and communication and feeling neglected. So that is something that you should pay attention to, right? Next thing you should stop doing to be a better boyfriend, to be a better husband, is to stop having kids with many different women. It will be very difficult for you to balance your financial and social responsibilities across many different families. You would be spending less time with your children because they are all over the place, and you probably might not have enough money to support all of them. And that is sometimes you choose who you want to support, and that is not right. Your absence as a father creates trauma in your child's life. When they are neglected physically, they are neglected emotionally, and you're not there to support them, and you're not there to guide them, and you're not there to be a role model, that creates childhood trauma, right? It's very easier for your children to be involved in drugs and alcohol and being promiscuous and getting in gangs and being delinquent and becoming violent and aggressive and dropping out of school and having school problems. There's many things happens when you are not there as a father for your child, all of those. And as they get older, they have a higher chance of developing anxiety and depression and many other personality disorders. Their mother might be unfit to take care of them sometimes because you are not there, right? Their mother might also be too controlling. you're not there, she might substitute your son as a partner. Many things can happen when you're not there as a father, having many children all over the place and cannot provide for them and be there for them, right? Your children could be verbally abused, physically abused, and you're not there. Could be verbally abused, physically, emotionally neglected also by the mother, because the being a single parent could be also very overwhelming, right? You are not there, you do not have control with who is raising your children and how your children is being raised. You do not know what is going on. Your child could be experiencing sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse because you're not there. And that is a very bad situation, having kids all over the place and not being there to provide for them and to protect them, right? Another thing is, you need to learn to have sex properly with your girlfriend, with your wife. You cannot just focus on your pleasure only. You need to learn your girlfriend's or your wife's body. Also, you need to learn how to plan dates, learn how to plan proper dates, and to discover and to find out the best places to take your wife and your girlfriend on a date. Make sure that the place is not too loud. Make sure it have a good ambience, and she should not be always paying 50-50 and all. Well, that is my own personal opinion. Paying 50-50, I really would not like to do that on a date. On a date, I actually would not like to pay anything. But that is my own personal opinion. But I'm just expressing it here. Being on dates, if it's your girlfriend, if it's your wife, if you already had a discussion where you both come into agreement where you're paying 50-50, or some people pay, whatever it is, I just feel like paying 50-50 on dates and having your wife and your girlfriend paying on dates is, me personally, I don't think that doesn't feel good for me personally, but that depends on your relationship, right? So moving on, you need to actually pick your girlfriend, you need to actually pick your wife. No woman should trick you into being with them. No woman should guilt trip you, manipulate you, force you, bribe you, get pregnant for you to get married. You should actually pick the woman that you want, right? You should not be having sex with women that you don't want to have kids with, right? That would link to what I was saying before, right? Next thing is you cannot be selfish in your relationship. You need to pay attention to the needs of your girlfriend, of your wife, of your kids. Know when to show appreciation, know when to show love, know when to show thankfulness and gratefulness towards your wife and towards your kids. You should not be talking down to your wife. You should not be yelling, cursing, using bad words on your girlfriend and on your wife or your children. You should never put your hands on your wife or your children. Right? Another thing, you should not be cheating and lying about cheating in your relationship. You need to have difficult conversations with your wife and try to work things through when there's problems in your relationship. If you are, feeling neglected, or you are feeling unappreciated, or you're feeling wronged in relationship, I know sometimes men, they suffer in silence and then they go and cheat. But what I'm saying to you is to have these difficult conversations and try to work out this problem, especially if you're married. You already made vows and you need to keep them. You do not need to also ruin your reputation by cheating. You need to be a good example for your children, right? You do not want to have to go through a divorce which has many complications, risking your family, risking the breaking up of your family by cheating, right? Next thing that you could do to be a better wife, to be a better husband, to be a better boyfriend, is to, especially like if you are getting more serious, if you believe that you are going to move towards marriage, or if you're in a marriage, you need to set the standards, and you need to set the rules of the relationship, because you are the man in the relationship. No woman should be able to disrespect you and embarrass you in public. She should not be cheating on you, lying, acting out in the home, acting out in public. You need to set all these rules and all these standards. She should not be exposing confidential information about family, about your relationship. If she's not raising your children the way you want, you need to speak up about that. Your woman should not be wearing the pants in the relationship, right? She should not be demanding and very tough on you. There's no reason to be that. You should not tolerate cheating, lying, embarrassing you in public, shaming you, bringing you down in any shape or form, in the home or in public. These are some rules and some standards that you need to set early on. You need to lead your wife, and you need to take control of the household. Your wife and your girlfriend should not be manipulating you, gaslighting you, making you feel like you're lying and that you're crazy. Should not be stressing you, should not be making the relationship feel chaotic by arguing constantly, nagging, emasculating you. None of these things should be happening constantly in your relationship, right? You should not be hating or not wanting to go home to your wife. Your wife should bring peace to you and should be making your life easier and should be making your life better. You also need to check unresolved childhood issues, mental illnesses, and personality disorders with your girlfriend. Before you get married, you really need to check if your potential wife have personality disorders. Things like borderline personality disorders. If she's a narcissist, if she's paranoid, if she's antisocial, if she has post-traumatic stress disorder, if she has depression, if she has anxiety, if she has abandonment issues, if she's way too aggressive and angry. There's many problems that we all have, and before you get married, I believe that you should check on these mental illnesses. It is very important, right? So those are some tips and advice to help you to become a better boyfriend and a better husband, right? So this video was not to, in the beginning, talk bad about you, to blame you, to talk down on you, to demonize you, to make you look bad. It was to create awareness about things that you could be doing wrong in your relationship, and also to give you tips on how to be better as a man, as a boyfriend, as a husband, and to have a better relationship with your wife, with your spouse, with your girlfriend, and with your children, right? That's all I have for this video, and see you in the next video, and I hope this helps